What's going on, everybody? It's Achilles LBT coming at you with a brand new video. And in today's video, this will be a two-purpose video. One will be a revisit to the latest hero added to the game in Auriel, the brand new support from the Diabloverse. And the other will be the fact that I will be playing this game, testing out a brand new mouse that I just got actually today in the mail that I ordered last week. Nothing really major or fancy, but it is definitely a gaming mouse, and it's the first one that I've ever used. So with one asset in specific, I'm going to be curious to see how it feels. Namely in the fact that I've been having problems for a few weeks now with some of my mouse commands not registering, particularly when it comes to picking talents. So now I have additional buttons on my mouse that should be able to help me with that, and that shouldn't be a problem. But for the most part, I want to keep this video about Auriel. So if you hear me saying anything weird as far as like something feeling weird, I just want to make it known that I am using a different mouse right now, so it is going to be a little bit of an adjustment, and hopefully it doesn't affect my gameplay. But to get to the Auriel stuff, I actually now am at a point where I feel like I have a good enough amount of experience that I have a good feel for what this character does. I have my character currently at level 8 right now. Definitely can see myself working towards a master skin with her because I just have that high of an opinion. But the biggest thing that I kind of wanted to revisit with Auriel, because now I pretty much have my build pretty much figured out to make her work in my own way to the best of her ability. The thing I wanted to revisit was the conversation regarding her heroics. Now, original perception when this character first came out was that Crystal Aegis was the way to go 100% of the time. You place an allied hero in stasis for 2 seconds. Upon expiration, your Crystal Aegis deals 270 damage to all nearby enemies. Now, I don't want to make this video seem like I'm gonna like I have a down opinion on this heroic. This is a fantastic heroic. I have nothing against this heroic at all. But in the same vein, this thing is meant to save people as much as it is to zone enemies away. Like this has a two-purpose. This is a two-purpose kind of heroic. And the fact that there's no direct healing tied to this ability because it's a stasis, it kind of makes it hard at times to actually save your teammates, which is where I wanted to revisit the Resurrect, because this thing got such a bad rap when it first came out. It got knocked pretty hard on the PTR. It was still getting knocked pretty hard the first week that this hero was out, and I don't know what made me do it, but I decided to try it anyway. And the funny thing is, I think this is something that's kind of floating around because I've actually seen other Auriel users going Resurrect instead of Crystal Aegis for a little while now. And basically, to read the ability, you channel on the spirit of a dead ally for 3 seconds, bringing them back to life with 50% of their maximum health at the location where they died. Now, this isn't like Mercy level of Resurrect for people who play Overwatch. This isn't a heroes never die type of thing where you can move around when you're doing the Resurrect. Granted, that was patched in. Mercy originally couldn't move either, but now she can move around when she's doing the Resurrect. And the other big difference would be that Mercy can resurrect the entire team within like 1 to 2 seconds, where Auriel has a channeled ability for 3 seconds that only resurrects one hero, and not even at full health, but at half health. Now, granted, there are reasons for that. Obviously, there are big differences between the value of a life in a MOBA like Heroes of the Storm versus the value of a life in a first-person shooter like Overwatch. So there has to be those differences. Not here to compare that. But what was initially perceived to be too long of a channel time to warrant usage of this ability, through my own personal experience, I've actually found that it's not that bad. If you watch what you're doing and time yourself accordingly and position yourself accordingly, you can totally make this a viable heroic. And like I said, I've been seeing a lot of other Auriel users going through with Resurrect. Some of them even go for the 20 upgrade that gives the movement speed so that characters can actually run away or chase down kills when they come back at full health. So there is definitely a place for this heroic, and that's basically what I want to showcase. I wanted to revisit this character because now I have a better gauge of what she's good at and what she's not good at, and I wanted to share that on the channel. So let's get right into it. Alright, well, that was a mistake. We find ourselves currently on the Towers of Doom. This will be my second attempt at getting this video done. The friendly composition will be myself as Auriel, Illidan, and Chen, and Morales, and then Arthas, going against Artanis, Hammer, Auriel, Leoric, and then Uther. So, For whatever reason, double support seems to be a thing today, and hoping that it doesn't go this game the way that it did last game. Now, one thing I want to point out about the new mouse already that I'm trying to adjust to is that you will no longer see me clicking the screen to pick my talents. Now I actually have a button specifically tied to that. So it should theoretically make my life easier. We're going to go increasing clarity at level 1. Again, I do have my build actually a lot more honed in now to where I know what I'm going for with this character. Now, I was about to say, I definitely need somebody to be down here with me. Now, the characters we have at the moment are going to make it a bit interesting for energy building, or however you want to call it. However, Chen having abilities is going to help, because one thing I found is that characters that do ability damage do a phenomenal job of giving you energy in the early game over characters that auto attack. So that is going to be something to be mindful of. This is also something else that I've seen quite a bit when I've been playing this character, are situations where I end up in a lane by myself. And we're going to try not to get too tilted about it, because it's something that happens to me every single time I play this character. And I really don't feel like I should have to type in the chat, "Don't leave a support alone in a lane." And as you see, the enemy team is actually doing the same exact thing with their Uther, leaving him in a lane by himself. So he has nobody effectively to support, which is the entire point of the class. So, now that I've got my little rant out of the way, again, the other point of this video is to showcase how effective the Resurrect can actually be versus the Crystal Aegis. So, the one upside that we have to going against Uther right here is that we're actually able to build up stacks against him. And Chen is actually just sitting still right now. Not sure if he's AFK or if he's waiting for a gank opportunity on one guy. Really don't know what's going on. Hopefully he starts moving pretty soon. Hi, buddy. Not sure where you are, but I really need you. So we're going to change that over to Arthas. That's something that I was having problems with last game too. Some of my abilities not actually registering. Like right there, it did it again. I don't know. I'm starting to think that it's something with my computer, or maybe it's something with my monitor. I'm not sure, but it's really, really, really frustrating. So, this has all the makings of a phenomenal team already. We're going to try to make the best of this, though. And I clicked that way earlier than it actually came out. Alright. This really, really, really needs to start turning around really quick, because this is already looking pretty suspect. I think I'd be better off just letting this go, but I'm going to do that just to kind of get him off of it and hold a little bit. My team is not actively aware that we still have an objective up here, and we just let it go. Actually, they do have an objective down there, so maybe that's why they wanted to let it go. I was really close to typing in the chat right there, but I'm going to try not to be that guy for the sake of this video, and hopefully this starts going better a lot faster, because this is a terrible start. And this has all the makings of a very, very, very bad game. But hopefully it doesn't turn into that, and I'm obviously gonna try my best to make this work. I do like when they're clumped up like that. That definitely makes my stat gathering really, really easy. And I have no problem leaving my my crown on Arthas, because when he has that E active, he's just gradually giving me energy at all times. So it's definitely very, very, very good for a character like me. Again, one thing I've found is that hybrid heroes, like characters that can do both ability damage and auto attack damage, are your best bet in the early game for getting energy. I'm going to do that. I am going to get stacks. Look at the, like, my energy is a non-issue right now, and I haven't even gotten any major upgrades for it yet. That's very annoying. That's the second time he's actually interrupted my my Q ability with a stun. We're going to do that to heal up. Was attempting to actually save him right there, but it turned out he was okay. And that right there is one advantage that Auriel has over pretty much every support in the game, except for maybe Karazim. Ironically, another Diablo support. She doesn't run on mana, so she could actually hang in there a lot longer. At level 7, I went for Energized Cord. This is something that actually rewards your aggression, and I found it to be very, very, very viable. And it keeps your energy build up in your hands. That's one thing. That's one reason. Like, I know a lot of people are pretty high on empathetic link, and like putting it on tanks to actually let them soak damage to give you energy. But that's completely dependent on them getting hit rather than dependent on you actually making a play. So we did actually get full stacks already because these guys have been clumped up the entire time, which again I am totally okay with, and we're just getting massive amounts of energy every time they choose to do that. I didn't actually land that heal on Arthur, so he does need to be careful. I don't have an escape for Illidan. He did actually accidentally juke our heal right there. But he does appear to be okay. We're going to switch the hat over to Arthas, give him a little bit of a heal, and keep trying to do our best to support our teammates. The good thing is that the Q doesn't run on a particularly hardcore cooldown. Actually, none of Auriel's abilities run on a hardcore cooldown. We're going to do that to top him off. We'll back Uther away. Again, you see my energy is a non-issue, and we're just going to heal everybody for a massive amount to go along with the Morales right there. We'll try our best to keep our guy alive. And just support. Like, I can basically do this as long as I need to. Uther did land another stun right there, but that time it was a little early. Just 1 second early before I was going to hit my Q. And that's the other logic behind that talent choice at level 1. When you upgrade the damage on your Q ability, you're also upgrading the amount of energy you get when you actually land it. So we're going to just try our best. Chen did actually survive that. That's fantastic. And again, you're seeing that every single time we need an ability, it's already waiting for us off of cooldown. You do save Arthas there. We just have too much healing right now for the enemy team to actually make a play. Like, they're burning through their resources like crazy right now. And it's just really, really not amounting to much at the moment. And you're just immediately seeing the upside to Auriel. Like, why she has a place in the game right now. We are going to back away. That was fantastic. We basically just soaked everything they had. So now they're pretty low on resources going into this next objective turn. And hopefully that does actually manifest in some kind of way. We're going to be going for Resurrect with our heroic choice. Again, that was the other thing we wanted to convey in this video. We did get a heal on Chen, but it wasn't a significant one. So we will actually end up having to try to showcase the Resurrect on him if we get an opening. Now, the big key to actually pulling this off effectively is not just going for broke and just trying it. Like, you have to have timing on this. So right now, everybody's paying attention to that, so I'm going to go do this. Nobody was there to stop me. We do get our player back. We get another tank back immediately. And now we can actually continue to push this fight as a team. So I'm going to do that to get energy back. We're going to put a mass heal. We did hit everybody, I believe, right there. Hammer is currently locked in. We did miss that stun. I'm going to get full health or full energy, heal everybody back up. Thankfully, those were actually the small Chens, so I thought we were going to lose a teammate right there. I did aggro the boss by mistake. That was a total accident, so we are going to run away from that. And again, you're seeing that the enemy player, the enemy Auriel, did go for the Aegis. I'm going to keep Chen alive. And we're just doing like so much sustain that it's out damaging whatever it is that they can do. Again, I put out the mass heal. Now we're going to work on Uther. That's going to be another kill. I'm going to switch the hat off to Illidan. I don't think anybody's there. Okay, so they backed off. So I'm going to put this back on Arthas if I can. Did not actually pan out. So we're going to try and secure the boss. I'm going to make sure I put the heal on myself so that I can actually stay alive and help these guys. Naturally, this thing puts its ability on me. I feel like it does that no matter who I'm using, and it's very annoying. And we are going to grab this boss before this next turn. Arthas is doing a good job of holding it down over there. Going to put one more mass heal and make our way down. Good sneak right there. I'm going to try and grab this globe and just keep moving. We definitely need to get to Arthas as fast as possible. Our Artanis did go for the blind, so that's basically going to affect Illidan more than anything. So I'm trying to actually get back to safety here. Arthas does do a good job of putting a Sindragosa pretty much on everything that he can see. Not sure what happened to him right there that he's upset. This is going to be an interesting turn. There isn't going to be a real opening here for the revive here. There's just way too many targets. I don't want to blow my heal on the small chens. We will do that though. I do have an E off of a cooldown here, so we're going to lock down Leoric. We still lose Chen, and we're going to have to back away. Arthas is actually re-engaging. That's interesting. I can't reach him. But I will be able to revive him if he dies. Thankfully, he didn't. So we did put every amount of healing that we could on him. Didn't actually, he's got so much health that it's impossible to get him back to full at this moment. So we're going to do that. I do get stunned, but we're just fine. That seemed like it was a little bit longer than it was supposed to be. Energy is not going to be a problem. If they're clumped up, again, if they're clumped up like that, it's a non-issue. And you see, we just took that damage, no problem. So again, that's the other part of the Aegis that I don't feel is like it warrants the pick. The damage is just not good enough that it feels like a good pick all around. I was hoping for a stun right there. I wasn't actually trying to save her. Didn't pan out though. At this point, I'm just really trying to keep my teammates alive. We're gonna do that. Give Illidan another heal. And we're gonna back away. Nothing we can do with that hammer right there, so I don't even know why we would try. Hammer does actually disengage at a good point right there. Gonna switch the hat back over to Arthas. This timing, I hope this pans out. I really do. Just putting a little extra damage right there, and we will actually grab that kill. So, level 13, we're gonna be going for Piercing Lash. This is going to give us the ability to actually stun and push back more than one target. I guess I'm the one that's channeling. So hopefully these guys don't get themselves killed while I'm down here. Morales is going to be late to get up there, though. Hopefully that doesn't backfire. Wow. I have a ton of hero damage right now, and that's just because they've been clumped up so much. So we're going to try and make our way over there because me and Morales together is a lot better than just her by herself. We do give Illidan a full heal right there, so that does get him pretty much back to full health. Chen should be just fine. That stun lasts so long. Man. That heal we got on ourselves actually did negate that damage just enough to keep us alive. I'm going to put that on Shen. Enemy team does have a very significant lead on the objectives right now, so that's something that we do have to contend with. Gonna put that on Arthas. Gonna heal him up, negate that damage. Gonna get that right back. Heal will be off of a cooldown. And you see he's almost back to full health again. Just so much damage mitigation with this double support lineup right now. But it's worth mentioning, though, that they have a double support lineup as well, so it's not something that's unique to us. And I'm just trying my best to keep Arthas as alive as possible. The energy, again, is just flowing in for us right now. I'm going to back off Leoric. I get the heal on Arthas. Get a ton of energy back. Arthas is going to be able to slowly heal himself, and we heal him too. Then we get a full clap on everybody. And I'm going to back away multiple people. We should disengage. Very unfortunate. And again, you definitely don't want to find yourself just going for resurrections just for the sake of going for them. You want to have opportunities like the one that's about to present itself, essentially, where you can actually do it from safety, which we almost had right there. So we're going to go for it now because we do actually have safety. This is going to bring Chen back to life right where he could actually be a factor.
The time is now.
So my teammates are recalling at the moment. We still have Arthas here. We do put a full heal. We're going to get all of that energy right back. Every time we do it, we're getting full energy. We're getting full value. And this is without that 16 upgrade that we're going for. We're going to get Illidan back to a good, healthy situation. And whip everybody we possibly can. Do need to be careful here. I did miss Illidan. Illidan accidentally juked my heal right there. Sorry. I did kind of body block her right there a little bit. That was my fault. Okay. That was a bad play on my part. And because they're standing there, I'm actually not going to be able to revive her either. Being danger. I feel like they're waiting for me to try this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Actually, I don't have it off the cooldown. I just noticed. I forgot that I revived. I used one on Chen a little while ago. Alright, so 16 upgrade. I actually did click right there. I said I wasn't going to do that, and I definitely just did. So basically what this is going to do is give my my hat target ability damage up to 10 additional percent, which in turn is going to give me a lot more energy. So we haven't been struggling with gaining energy at all this game, and we're going to struggle even less so now from here on. Again, I've been purely benefiting from a mixture of my own aggression and the aggression of my teammates, and they can actually afford to be aggressive because we've had so much sustain between me and Morales. Man, the healing at both of those numbers are really good, but it's not going to matter because we are about to lose the game. Or not. Actually, I thought my math is off. I thought that was it. I thought that was it. So we do need to grab this. This is the only hope we have to actually buy ourselves an additional second. We do actually succeed in that. This one's looking a little dicey. I mean, we're really lucky right now that there's only one objective, because if there was two, we'd be in some major trouble right now. I'm going to put the hat back on Arthas. This is going to buff the damage he's doing right now, and he has a stim. So he has everything he could possibly need. We get a double stun right there on two separate targets. I'm going to put another heal on him. Oh, that was actually Illidan we put the heal on. And I'm going to try my best to keep everybody as alive as possible. We are going to try and focus this Uther a little bit. It does not succeed. I'm going to stay mindful of where Auriel is over there. We did miss our whip on Hammer. I do get swapped by our Tannis there. That is going to be hard. And I missed my heal. All right, that's going to be game. For sure, that's game. Trying to juke Leoric right there a little bit, but it didn't pan out. This was a little dicey to start off with. It was looking like we were making some kind of comeback for a little bit. Not so much a comeback, but it looked like we were righting the ship in the middle of the game. But it was just too much to come back from. The enemy team did a very, very good job, and we do go down in this one. But again, I do think the Resurrect is a really, really good heroic. I don't really see a situation like as clumped up as they were. You might argue that we could have been able to use the Aegis a little bit better in that game. But again, the damage on the ability is not so earth-shattering that it could really, really affect the outcome of a fight. And I think that's another... I said earlier that it's good for zoning, but I think people are starting to realize that the damage on that ability is not actually that scary. And you see situations like the one we just did where we pretty much all stood in the middle of it, and we were just fine. And you see the healing outputs were really, really good on both ends. As I was saying earlier, like the double support was something that was present on both sides of the game. And the enemy Auriel did a fantastic job with her healing, as you can see right there with 117. And they just did a better job of team fighting than we did. That being said, I still love that Auriel's healing and damage. Like I love that she's basically a hybrid of an offensive character and a support character. She's like a damage support hybrid, and it clearly shows that if you can do one effectively, you're gonna do the other effectively. Like they can definitely go hand in hand, because like you saw, they were clumped up pretty much the entire game, and we spec'd into the damage on our Q ability for that reason, so that we can keep getting energy back whenever we needed it. We had zero issue of getting energy the entire game, and I think that was pretty obvious by the healing output we had out there. Morales obviously did a very, very good job with the healing output as well, considering that she has to manage mana as well. But unfortunately, we came up short in this one. It wasn't enough. I don't necessarily know how I feel about putting up 80,000 hero damage with a support player. Maybe there's something a little bit wrong there in the design, but I'm not going to be the one to write a message to any kind of forum saying that this needs to be nerfed, because I'm not that guy. If I play a character I like and I see something about them is a little strong or a little stronger than it needs to be, I'm never going to be the guy to point it out, as far as like going on a forum and saying, hey, this needs to be balanced. No, I don't think any of us are that guy, so don't hate me too bad for saying that. But 81,000 on the support is pretty crazy. But I like that it's not meaningless. It directly feeds into the healing output we had. We're not getting that 96,000 without a high, like, a damage number. And you see the enemy Auriel was the same thing. 67,000 on the healer is also pretty insane. And again, she had more healing done on her end. There are other variables to that. So going over the build that I went for in this game, again, I went for the increasing clarity stacks at level 1. Every time Sacred Sweep hits a hero in the center, it increases the center damage by 3 up to 60. And after hitting 20 heroes, the center damage bonus is doubled to 120. So again, I'm not necessarily grabbing any of these talents on Auriel to buff her damage so much as to buff her energy consumption. So so that she gets energy back more often. It goes hand in hand. The more damage you can do for yourself, the more energy you're giving yourself, on top of the energy you're getting from your teammates. At level 4, this is just another one to tack onto it. Majestic Span increases the radius of Sacred Sweep by 20%. So basically, it makes the center target bigger, and it makes the entire thing bigger. You're hitting more targets, more energy. At level 7, I go for Energized Cord. It increases the energy stored from Auriel's basic attacks to 100% of the damage against heroes and 30% of the damage against non-heroes. So basically, this gives you your own out to help your own cause. You don't have to be fully dependent on your teammates to do things, to give you energy. You could actually take matters into your own hands to keep your energy levels up, and I think I did a very good job of showing that. At level 10, this was the point of the video. We wanted to showcase Resurrect. I think we did a somewhat decent job of showcasing it, that it has some kind of viability to it. It's not nearly as bad as everyone thinks, so I definitely think it's something that you should give a try and definitely practice with. Level 13. I went for Piercing last. The Detainment Strike now pierces and hits all enemies in a line, basically, so I can knock people back in a group. Didn't necessarily do the best job of showcasing this, but it's still a very, very good talent. Level 16, I typically go for Wrath of Heaven, which allies with Bestow Hope gain 10% ability power, which means the more power they have, the more energy they give you in return. Especially good on ability-driven heroes like mages and things of that nature. Not so great on auto attackers, but I have tried the auto attack upgrade, the speed upgrade. I feel like the speed upgrade is fantastic if you're the auto attacker, not so great if you're the Auriel. So that's just a personal opinion. I didn't feel like the energy buildup was good enough to warrant that pick. And I don't necessarily like the quest talent at 16, because after a while, your health bar, your energy bar gets so high that it basically forces you to do extra to keep getting it full. And the fact that you have to wait for it to be full, to get full value out of it, to get any value out of it, is another issue, because essentially it stops you from spamming your heals. Like, you have to be on standby and wait for it to be full in order to use it. Now, would that kind of talent choice at 16 work better with the rest of my talent choices? It's possible. It's fully possible. You saw how much energy we were getting back. There's no arguments against saying that maybe I would have been able to get some more energy out of that. Maybe in turn, I would have been able to actually keep my teammates alive a bit better. Who knows? But for my money's worth, I stick with Wrath of Heaven. I like what's reliable and what's actually there rather than playing the gamble game. We didn't get the chance to showcase level 20, and I think that Auriel has one of the strongest 20 sets in the game right now as far as supports. I could think of Lily. I think has the best level 20 talent in the game with Kung Fu Hustle. And then there's a debate to be had like afterwards as far as like good 20 talents. I definitely think Medivh is in that conversation for sure. There's no way you have that level 20 conversation without Medivh being in there. But Auriel is another one to throw into that list because she definitely has some very, very strong 20 upgrades. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, it's a little weird. I'm getting used to the new mouse, so that's a process in itself. Well, definitely didn't want to upload a loss. 2 losses in a row, basically. The last one went even worse than this one did. But I still felt like we did a good enough job of showcasing the few things we wanted to showcase, and that's why I chose to upload this anyway. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for more. I may have another small update video to basically put some information about streaming out there. But aside from that, just keep your eyes peeled for the next one, and hopefully that one goes. We get a better result out of the next one. As always, I appreciate the support. This is Achilles LBT. That's Achilles with the Z. Remember it.